I will and I must do this. There's no choice. It's either move forward or move backwards. I have to move forward. So I did. And I graduated. Somehow, I think my parents cried tears of joy and happiness and shock that I got out of college because I almost quit so many times. And it was such a struggle. Reading chapters 3 or 4 times and trying to guess, what the important parts are, because we're all struggling to overcome something. And we all have something that we tell ourselves to overcome something. Mine was, I can do it, I will do it, I must do it. One of the things having a class taught me was that I needed to figure out ways to survive with my own kids. Easy things for other people were very difficult for me. I'm sure you can, if you're hearing impaired, you can figure out the challenging part about Halloween for a hearing impaired person. What does that mask cover up? Covers their mouth. And I was a lip reader. And I needed that extra amplification for them when they speak, their voice would go out. So even things as simple as Halloween were a struggle for me. And it started breaking down the communication between me and my 2 sons. It got to a point where my hearing was so bad, they had to stand right in front of me and talk to me. If they were over there, I couldn't hear them, and I'd have to say, what? 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 Well, a 10 and a 12 and a 13-year-old, they don't want to come all the way to mom and say something. They're always moving around. They want to be able to say, hey mom, where's my socks? What? Where's my socks? What? I became a never mind, which was another heartbreaking part of my life. For someone to tell me never mind means I am a never mind. And that hurt. I didn't like it. I had to figure out, what am I going to do? I walked out and I asked the moon, why are you doing this? Systematically removing everything that I can do. Now I don't even have a way of communicating with my kids because I'm a never mind. But I can do this. I will do this because I must. I'm their mother. I can't give up. I had that in my classroom, and it was something that I lived by every single day, sometimes 10 times a day. I can, I will, I must. The turning point for me that led me to a cochlear implant was the last straw. This is my granddaughter. And she had come for a visit. She was sitting at the kitchen table when I came home from work, and I was aware that she has anxiety issues, and I needed to wait to hold her until she was more familiar with me. So I come into the house, and she's sitting at the kitchen table, and I walk right past her. Hi, Elena! And I go to the back bedroom. I'm going to change my work clothes. Then I'm going to come out and hold her. I go into my bedroom and I close the door, and sometimes, I don't know why, but my bedroom door slams, and it slams. I change my clothes as quickly as I could. I go to the door and I open the door, and she's standing right there with these great, big tears right on the edge of her eyes, looking up at me. And I said, what happened? And I looked into the kitchen and I asked everyone, what happened? slammed in her face. And my heart just came up in my throat, and I felt like crying, but I didn't. I scooped her up, and I grabbed her, and I kissed her, and I loved her. Then that night, I went out, and I said, this is enough. This is unacceptable. What now? This is not good enough for me. You are not going to take my granddaughter from me. I didn't know what to do, but something compelled me to go into my house, open up my laptop, and just start Googling. What to do if you're a teacher and you've lost your hearing. What to do if you can't hear your grandchildren. What to do if you're going to lose your job because you can't hear. What to do, what to do, what to do. And almost every time, somebody's name popped up. That's not the picture that popped up on the internet, but Terry's name popped up over and over again. So I go onto my email and I start typing as quickly as I can. Hello, Terry. I read about you. You were a teacher. Can you help me? I'm losing my hearing. I'm scared. That was 11:30 at night. 20 minutes later, I got an email. It just popped into my mailbox. Can you come in tomorrow? I had tears in my eyes. Yes, I will be there tomorrow. I took the day off. I got my husband. We went into her office, and she listened to my story, and she said, have you ever thought about cochlear implants? And I said, yes, but I don't qualify. I checked into it in 1986. And she said, this is 2011. I think you might qualify. So to make a long story short, she put me on the path to better hearing, and she changed my life. She is a perfect example to me of somebody who has done all kinds of things with her life, even with a hearing disability. She is such an inspiration because I felt like I was in a closet and was not able to do anything because of my disability. And yet here she was doing all these things with her life. And she was just like me. She couldn't hear. So I felt such hope. And that's when I did have a cochlear implant. That's activation. There's a big smile on my face. Just so that you know, for people who were concerned about how things look, it is a big scar. Now you see it, and now you don't. Because some people are concerned about what it looks like I was in grade school. I don't care anymore. But you really can't see it if you want to hide it. And then there was an explosion of everything in my life. Explosion of relationships, explosion of achievement, explosion of purpose, explosion of happiness. That's my son and my husband. And the big thing about that picture is that we're in a restaurant. I used to hate going to restaurants. Why? Because I couldn't hear anybody. It's like being excluded in your own life. I was on the outside watching everybody have such a good time, talking, laughing. Oh, everybody's having a good time, and I'm sitting there nodding. It's a fake life. And I didn't have a fake life anymore. That's a real conversation I was having with my son and my husband. My sisters, reconnecting with them and hearing their voices. Relationships, so important. The reason why we're here. Relationship with my granddaughters, hearing their voice was like hearing an angel. That has to be what angel sounds like. A child. wanted to be part of the wallpaper. Now that I can hear, I did all kinds of things with our school. That's my principal, and we had this neat little program that I wanted to participate in because I can hear now. It's all about relationships. I did the Walk for Hearing. I participated in a charity. I started my own charity, donating children's books to a hospital, which I never would have done before. That's the Teacher of the Year that I mentored, and I feel such purpose because I can help her. I can help her find children who can't hear, and I can help her learn how to see children with special needs, or children anyway. They're children. They're all cochlear implant recipients. I connected out with them, and I formed real relationships where we talked. We're in a restaurant. I never used to go to restaurants. I did not like it. Neighbors that I just avoided because I knew that if I went out and saw neighbors in their driveway, they would talk to me, so I didn't look at them. I didn't want them to say something to me because I was not going to hear them. Now, people in their driveway, "Hi Rhonda, how you doing?" Because I can hear them now. And in teaching, I was able to connect with my students more deeply and more effectively. And one of the highlights of my life is that HEB decided to surprise me and choose me for a Lifetime Achievement Award, which was nice to be recognized for something that you've done before. And they particularly liked the picture of the sign I had in my classroom, and they used it in their advertisement.